Hi everyone, and welcome to this second episode of Shenmue Talk. In this second episode I will be talking about the two most iconic and mysterious objects in the Shenmue series, the dragon and the phoenix mirrors. They are probably the key that will solve the mystery of this amazing video game series. So throughout this second episode we will be accompanying Ryo in his quest to find out more about the mirrors. As he progresses in the story, we will be analyzing the information that Ryo will be receiving during his quest by looking at footage from the games. I will also be showing you historical, cultural and mythological and other aspects that I think will help us understand more about the mirrors and their importance in the story of Shenmue. So let's get started. First off, we will be seeing the cutscene of the first meeting that Ryo has with Master Chen at warehouse number 8, where he learns of the existence of the Phoenix Mirror and where the mirrors came from.
Who's there?
Wait, Wei-san.
What? Master Chen. Master Chen?
You are the young man who has called?
Yes, Ryo Hazuki. This says, if you ever need help, seek the aid of Master Chen.
May I look at the letter?
Sure.
Yes, this is Zhu's handwriting. But it appears this letter arrived too late.
Yes. This Zhu Yongda, how does he know my father?
Zhu and your father brought back a certain mirror from China.
The mirror? The one that man stole?
It was stolen?
Yes. The man who killed my father, Lan Di.
Lan Di.
Do you know him?
Well, I know of him. An organization called Qi You Men. Its leader goes by that name. I hear he's a master of a deadly martial art.
Yes, he used a style I've never seen.
I think we mean the same person.
What does this mean? Please tell me, why my father? You needn't tell this boy anything, father. Father?
No, I'm bound by my promise to Zhu Yuanda regarding this boy's father.
But...
Was only one mirror stolen?
Huh?
I'm asking if only one mirror was stolen.
Yes, made of stone, a dragon design.
If so, then there's one more. I believe the Phoenix Mirror.
Phoenix?
A mythical bird of Chinese legend that guards human life.
That mirror? My house?
Perhaps. Find it, and then we'll talk.
Yes, when I do, I'll return.
From now on, telephone beforehand. And remember the password.
So in this cutscene, Ryo learns of the existence of the Phoenix Mirror and that his father and Zhu Yunda brought it from China along with the Dragon Mirror. In Ryo's search for the Phoenix Mirror, we start to realize that the story of Shenmue has its inspiration in Chinese culture and mythology. After finding the Phoenix Mirror, Ryo starts on a quest to find more information about this mysterious object, that will lead us to the next cutscene we are about to see. Ryo will visit Oishi, the owner of Bunkado Antiques, and will learn more about the origins of the mirrors.
Excuse me?
Oh, Hazuki-sensei's boy.
I could really use your expertise again.
Of course, provided it's something I am familiar with. Is it about the sword handguard from the other day?
No. It's about this.
May I take a look? What a marvelous stone phoenix mirror! Stone mirrors were produced in China during ancient times. This is an exceptional piece.
Is there anything unusual about this one?
Indeed there is. I think perhaps this type of precious stone is only found in the Guilin region.
Precious stone?
According to a book I once read long ago, an emperor ordered a sculptor from Guilin to engrave a guardian onto a stone mirror.
Guardian?
The phoenix on this mirror is a guardian.
Is there any connection between the phoenix and the stone from Guilin?
Well, I really can't speculate, but considering the legend associated with this mirror, undoubtedly there is a connection.
I see. Well then, thank you very much for your help.
You're welcome.
At the antique shop, Ryo learns from Oishi that stone mirrors were produced in China in ancient times, and that the type of precious stone of the phoenix mirror can only be found in the Guilin region in China, and that he read on a book a legend where an emperor ordered a sculptor from Guilin to engrave a guardian into a stone mirror. Oishi also thinks there is a connection between the legend and the phoenix mirror. With this new information that Ryo has gathered, let us see what were the first mirrors in Chinese history made of. As you can see by the highlighted part of the text in the image, the mirrors used by people were pools of dark still water, and that the earliest manufactured mirrors were pieces of polished stone such as obsidian, a naturally occurring volcanic glass. So as you have read, the first manufactured mirrors were made of stone, like the mirrors in Shenmue. But the first reference of mirrors manufactured in China is that they were made out of bronze, as you can see by the highlighted part of the text. Although the first mirrors were made of stone, in my research I have found no reference of stone mirrors that were made in China, or that Phantom River stone exists in Guilin, or even any Chinese legend that mentioned mirrors like the ones in Shenmue. This doesn't mean that they do not exist, but from what I have read, the type of stone that the mirrors are made in Shenmue is purely fictional. But if we take a closer look at the Chinese mirrors made of bronze, we will see that they have a lot in common with the mirrors from Shenmue. By reading the highlighted part of the text, we learn that Chinese bronze mirrors were produced in ancient times, during China's imperial dynasties, and that they were usually circular, with one side polished bright to give a reflection and the reverse side with designs. This is very similar to what the Shenmue mirrors look like. So now let us see some pictures of Chinese bronze mirrors from the time of Imperial China side by side with the mirrors from Shenmue, and we will see that they look very much alike. As we can see, both the Chinese bronze mirrors and the mirrors from Shenmue look very similar. But why do they have these mythological creatures engraved in them? If we can recall, Oishi told Ryo that the phoenix in the mirror is a guardian. But what kind of a guardian? What does the phoenix in the mirror protect? Let us see what Ryo will uncover next as he continues to look for more information about the mirrors.
Hello.
Oh, Hazuki-san.
Thanks for your help the other day. But can I ask for your help with one more thing?
What is it?
It's about this mirror. Can you tell me anything about it?
Let me see it. This is a very unusual mirror.
It's called the Phoenix Mirror.
Phoenix. In China, the phoenix is the legendary bird of fortune. It's a guardian for the Sky Lord.
Guardian?
The other guardian is the dragon.
A dragon.
In China, people consider the North Star to be the lord of the sky. Look there. That is an old Chinese map in stone, see? It's a map of the Big Dipper from the Han Dynasty. On a moonless night, should you pray to the stars, your wishes shall be realized. The Big Dipper revolves around the immovable North Star. In China, the North Star is highly respected. For ages and ages, people have worshipped it. In China, there are numerous fascinating legends about the stars.
I see. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Ryo this time pays a visit to Xiu Yu at Russia's China shop and learns from her that both the phoenix and the dragon are guardians for the Sky Lord, and that the North Star is highly respected in China. There are also numerous fascinating legends about the stars. With this new information, let us see what we can find more about the guardians of the Sky Lord. The picture that we can see shows us that the phoenix and the dragon belong to a group of mythological creatures that are considered to be the four guardians of the four compass directions, or celestial emblems of the Chinese emperor. If we read the text below, we learn that each mythological creature is a guardian of a compass direction, and that each one corresponds to a season, color, element, virtue, and other traits. Each one of the creatures also corresponds to a quadrant in the sky, composed each one of a constellation of 7 stars, making a total of 28 lunar mansions or lodges. There was also a 5th direction, the center, that represented China itself. The picture that I'm showing now is a representation of each constellation that the mythological creatures protect. And at the center, where the North Star is, we can see a picture of the Sky Lord. The importance of the four guardians in the story of Shenmue can be seen later in a cutscene of Shenmue 2 that I'm going to show next.
There's no one here. Where did Zoo disappear to?
Calm down.
Shut up! I am calm.
Huh?
That's the stick the old man gave you. Oh, snake, tortoise, or the four heavenly beasts. Smells fishy.
Yeah. There must be something here.
I'll be on the lookout. Hurry and search.
Yin and Yang. Same as the banner in our dojo. There's something... This is... a picture of a dragon. Same shape as the other sticks. Are these keys? I'll keep it. This picture. The four heavenly beasts Ren mentioned. This is... looks similar to the stick Zhang gave me. There must be some meaning to the combination of these pictures. Somewhere in this room are the others? Some connection with the four heavenly beasts?
How's it going? Did you find something? Hey, what is it? These are the four heavenly beasts. Same picture that's on those sticks that old man gave you. Look. Hey, that statue looks fishy.
Statue of Buddha.
Well, check carefully.
Anywhere that I overlooked? This uniform is... the Hazuki name's on it. Perhaps this was my father's. What? Same shape as the stick Zhang gave me. This is a picture of a tiger. I'll keep it. There's something... This is... a phoenix. I should keep this.
Hey! What the hell?
You are young Dazu.
As we have seen, the four guardians are a part of the Shenmue story. But now let us look at what we can find about the Skylord. For the Chinese, the Skylord exists in several names. In this case, he is called Shangdi, but he also has various other names like Tian, Jade Emperor, Heavenly Grandfather, or even Tentei, the most commonly known name among Shenmue fans. All of these names refer to the Chinese concept of Supreme God, depending on the different religions or philosophies practiced in China. In this next picture, if we read the text that is highlighted, we learn that the name Shangdi is associated with the name Huangdi, or Yellow Emperor, who was the first emperor of China and the originator of the Chinese civilization, and the mythical ancestor of all Chinese race. If we can recall, Oishi at the antique shop told Ryo the legend of the emperor who ordered a sculptor from Guilin to engrave a guardian into a stone mirror. But how can Wang Di be connected with the mirrors? Let us see what Ryo will find out next as he visits Master Chen once again.
Ah, the Phoenix Mirror. Yes, it's made of Phantom River stone.
Why did Landy only steal the dragon mirror?
He probably didn't realize your father had both of them.
2 mirrors.
A long time ago, Zhu Yuanda once told me, when the dragon and the phoenix meet, the gates of heaven and earth will open, and Qi Yu will resurrect itself on earth.
Ji-Yu.
It's a legendary Chinese monster that will devour this world of ours. It appears Lan Di will try to make use of both mirrors.
What will he try?
That even I don't know, but you mustn't allow him to get that mirror. Be careful and stay alert.
If he finds that mirror, it will be the end of you.
Ryo visits Master Chen one more time after finding the Phoenix Mirror. He tells Ryo of a legend that Zhu Yunda once told him, that when the dragon and the phoenix meet, the gates of heaven and earth will open and Chi-Yo will resurrect itself on earth. According to the legend, Chi-Yo is a legendary Chinese monster that will devour the world. But how can Wang Di be connected with Chi-Yo and the mirrors? So Chi-Yo was a tribal leader that fought the then future Yellow Emperor during the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors era in Chinese mythology. He is worshipped as the god of war and one of the 3 legendary founding fathers of China. It is told that Chi-Yo taught his people in many crafts, and that he had knowledge of the constellations and ancient spells for calling upon the weather. For example, he called upon a fog to surround Wang Di and his soldiers during the Battle of Zulu. Various other descriptions of Chi-Yo tell us that he is a god of war and inventor of military weapons. He invented weapons such as the spear, dagger, axe, sword, and halberd. In Chinese mythology, he is depicted in several ways, but the most common is that he was a bull-like man, and that he had 80 or 71 brothers. Here are some pictures of Chi-Yo in his mythological form. As you can see, all of them present a bull-like form creature holding military weapons like the description of Chi-Yo. And that happens also with the symbol of the Chi-Yu-Min that Landy has tattooed in his forearm. We can see a demonic face of a bull-like creature with several weapons on the back and what appears to be a fog surrounding it. On the highlighted part of the text, we can read the events that led to the mythological battle between the combined forces of Wang Di and Yan Di against Chi-Yo. Although Chi-Yo had won most of the battles against Wang Di and Yang Di, he ended up losing. Chi-Yo was beheaded and his body cut into several parts. The people of Chi-Yo were forced to live in the mountains and leave their sacred land behind. After winning the battle against Chi-Yo, Wang Di became emperor and founded the state of Qin. that would later become China. Wang Di is considered to be the ancestral father of the ethnic Han Chinese. Now that we know the connection between Qiu and Wang Di, let us see how they can be connected with the mirrors. Let us begin by seeing what were the mirrors used for in ancient China. As we can see by the text in this document of an investigation done at Harvard University, we learn that the mirrors in ancient China had both practical and spiritual purposes. By reading the text, we learn that Chinese mirrors were used not just for reflecting a person's face, but it did also have practical uses like starting fires from the sun. Let us see if this practical use has something in common with the mirrors from Shenmue.
What?
Yo.
Yeah.
Yo.
This is...
As we have seen in the short video, the Phoenix mirror had the same practical use as the Chinese mirrors, but the Phoenix mirror seemed to possess special powers when it started the fire. Let us see if there is also anything in common with the Chinese mirrors in this aspect. In this other text of the same document, we can see that the decorated side of the earlier mirrors were full of symbolism, and that the Chinese believed that it was possible to acquire some of the universe's power to gain both strength and protection from evil. They also believed that by adding inscriptions like incantations or prayers, they would attract supernatural powers and bring good fortune for the living, or, if placed in tombs, they would assist the dead by keeping evil spirits away. I think that this Chinese belief is represented in the Shenmue mirrors. The phoenix and the dragon in the mirrors were symbols of the universe in ancient China, and both are also guardians. According to my theory, Wang Di was the emperor that had requested the sculptor from Guilin to engrave both guardians into the mirrors. By acquiring the universal power of the guardians, the mirrors would protect Wang Di from the evil spirit of Qiu. But why did the emperor choose the dragon and the phoenix to be their guardians? What is the connection between these two mythological creatures and the emperor? As you can see, the dragon is the symbol of the emperor, and he ruled China from the dragon throne. Later on, the phoenix would become associated with the empress, making the phoenix and the dragon symbols of the imperial family. This is why the dragon and the phoenix are the mythological creatures represented in the mirrors. Now let us see what Ryo finds out next about the mirrors as he finally meets Zhu Yunda.
My father had this mirror.
Oh, there's no mistake. It's the mirror once owned by Suming Zhao.
Landy took the dragon mirror when he came to kill my father.
Is that so?
I don't want to listen to these depressing stories. I want to know about this mirror here. What the hell is this, huh?
When this phoenix mirror is paired with the dragon mirror, the two form a key.
A key?
Yes. A key to the treasures hidden away in order to revive the Ching Dynasty.
Did you hear that? Treasures, he said. I told you, my hunches are always right. And how do we get this treasure, huh?
Excuse me. Could you turn out the lights and light the candle?
Sure.
You should see this.
What's the show?
This is...
These 7 lights indicate the location of the treasure.
Where is that?
A single mirror is not enough.
What?
Only when this is combined with the light pattern from the dragon mirror will we know.
There's no way of finding out with only the Phoenix mirror.
In this meeting with Zhu Yunda, Ryo finds out that the mirrors, when paired, form a key to the hidden treasure that could revive the Qing Dynasty, and that both mirrors are needed to find out where the treasure is. But we also saw that the mirror projected a light pattern. Could Chinese mirrors also possess this feature? Let us see if they have this feature as well, before we continue to find out more about the Qing Dynasty and the treasure that can revive it. By reading the highlighted part of the text, we learn that Chinese mirrors could also project images if sunlight or a bright light was reflected onto them. Let us now see some images of Chinese mirrors projecting images and see if this is similar to what we saw in the Phoenix mirror. Although it is not exactly the same what the Phoenix mirror did, I think this is where the inspiration of this feature came from. That's why I thought this was important to demonstrate. Let us now take a look at the Qing Dynasty and see what we can find out. As we can see, the Qing Dynasty was the last imperial dynasty to rule China. After that came the Republic of China. That's why Zhu Yunda talks about the revival of the Qing Dynasty. Because at the time that the events of Shenmue take place, Imperial China no longer exists. As for the treasure that can revive the Qing Dynasty, there is not enough information in the Shenmue series to make a solid theory about it, because we are only in the beginning of the Shenmue story. But let us take a look at a theory that has been talked about among Shenmue fans over the last few years, that I think it is interesting to show. This theory is interesting but also controversial at the same time, because it involves the treasure of the Qin Dynasty and not the Ching Dynasty. But I think this theory can be supported by the fact that the story of Shenmue revolves around these two dynasties, and because of the fact that they were the first and the last imperial dynasties to rule China, I think that it incorporates all Chinese dynasties in the story of Shenmue as a whole. According to some of the Shenmue fans, this theory has the Qiumin not just wanting to revive Qiyo, the leader of the Qiumin, but it also includes reviving an army of stone warriors. These warriors are called Terracotta Warriors, and they are a stone army that was built to protect the first emperor of China, Wang Di, in the afterlife, along with his possessions that include treasures and many other things. By obtaining the mirrors, the Qiumin would not just revive their leader, but also revive the army of stone warriors and capture the numerous treasures at the first emperor's mausoleum. This would give the Qiumin the power to conquer and rule China. Although Zhu Yunda told Ryo that the treasures could revive the Qing Dynasty, he does not say that the treasures are from the Qing Dynasty. So I think that this leaves room to speculate that the treasures can be from any dynasty or even all imperial dynasties. But this also means that the treasures could be anything as well. Personally, I think that the real treasure will be something much more profound other than riches. But we will just have to wait for Shenmue 3 and see if we can get more information about this matter. But now let us continue with Ryo's quest in finding answers for the mystery of the mirrors. But this time we will go back to Shenmue 1 and view a conversation that Ryo has with Old Man Yamagishi at Sakuragaoka Park that I think is important to the story of Shenmue and will give us a new understanding about the mirrors.
Excuse me.
Oh, Ryo.
Is this a good time?
What's on your mind?
I want to show you something.
What is it?
This.
What an unusual stone mirror.
Apparently, it is called the Phoenix Mirror.
I see. There is a phoenix carved into it.
Is there anything special about this mirror?
Well, the phoenix is a sacred bird of legend. But, this has an ominous feel.
Ominous?
In China, there are many treasures that contain both good and bad fortune. This is called the secret of Yin and Yang.
The secret of Yin and Yang?
You'd best be careful. This may have something to do with your father's unfortunate death. I don't know if this information helps, but that's all I can tell you.
I see. Thank you very much.
So Old Man Yamagishi tells Ryo that in China there are many treasures that contain good and bad fortune, and that it is called the secret of Yin and Yang. Yamagishi also advises Ryo to be careful, and that the mirrors may have had something to do with the death of Ryo's father. But can the mirrors or the treasures that they could reveal contain good and bad fortune? In my opinion, yes, and I will explain my theory about this matter later. But now let us first take a look at the meaning of Yin and Yang, and try to find out its connection with the story of Shenmue. So Yin and Yang are complementary interdependent opposites, neither of which can exist without the other. Each can transform into the other and contains a seed of the other within it. Yin and Yang consume and support each other. Each aspect of yin and yang can be further subdivided into yin and yang aspects. Here are some examples of yin and yang that could help you understand it, but let us take a look at some examples of yin and yang that can be found in Shenmue. The best example of yin and yang found in Shenmue are its two main protagonists, Ryo the hero that represents good and Landy the villain that represents evil. But in the concept of yin and yang, everyone that is good has some evil, just as everyone that is evil has some good as well. This example can be found in these two characters. Ryo is more of a good person, but by seeking vengeance for his father's death, he could end up becoming like Landy. On the other hand, Landy is more evil than good, but if he was just evil, he wouldn't have spared Ryo's life at the Azuki Dojo when looking for the mirrors. Another example of yin and yang present in Shenmue is the banner that can be found on the Azuki Dojo that has written the 8 principles of yin and yang. The concept of the 8 principles of yin and yang are applied in Chinese medicine, and if we read the text carefully, we can find references to Wang Di and the Ching Dynasty. The concept of yin and yang is also applied in several martial arts. Tai Chi Quan or Tai Chi Chuan is a martial art that applies the concept of yin and yang in its teachings. This martial art is present in Shenmue 2, and it is practiced by several characters in the game, like Jianmin and Gi Xiang. The phoenix and the dragon in the mirrors are also representations of yin and yang found in Shenmue. The phoenix is yin and the dragon is yang. Together they represent perfect balance between yin and yang. As we have seen, yin and yang have a constant presence in Shenmue, just like in real life. That's why many consider Shenmue to be a life simulator. But now that we have covered the concept of yin and yang and its presence in Shenmue, let us go back and focus on what Yamagishi told Ryo about the Phoenix mirror and its connection with his father's death. In the cutscene that we previously have seen, Yamagishi told Ryo that the death of his father may be connected with the mirrors. So now let us see another cutscene as Ryo continues his journey in search of answers about the mirrors and their connection with the death of his father.
Ryo, can I ask you something?
What is it?
It's about that phoenix mirror.
Yeah.
On the diagram in my father's room, there was a design of a dragon as well.
Yeah. My father had another mirror with a dragon on it.
What happened to the mirror of the dragon?
It was stolen by the man who killed my father, Landy.
Killed?
Oh, that's right.
Your father was killed because of the mirror.
Huh? Because of the mirror?
A village legend says the ancient emperor had mirrors made from phantom river stone. But the rulers fought for the mirror, trying to get its hidden power. And some even lost their lives because of it.
I didn't know there was such a legend.
I'm getting scared.
Shenfa.
I hope nothing evil happens.
So, in the cutscene that we just saw, Shenhua tells Ryo that his father was killed because of the mirrors. According with the legend from Bailu village, the ancient emperor had mirrors made from phantom river stone, and that rulers fought for the mirrors trying to get its hidden power, and that some even lost their lives. With this new information, we can conclude that this legend has a connection with the death of Ryo's father, and that Yamagishi was right. As we can see throughout Ryo's quest in finding answers for the death of his father, good and bad things happen along his journey, just like in real life. That's why in Shenmue we always have a good and a bad ending. But can the mirrors have the power to influence the events that occur in Shenmue, or are they just occurring naturally? My theory is that Iwao brought the mirrors to Japan in hope that he would prevent a greater evil from happening, and that could have led him to kill his friend Zunming Zhao. But by bringing the mirrors to Japan, Iwao may also have caused an unbalance between the forces of Yin and Yang. We don't know yet if Iwao killed Zunming Zhao intentionally or not, but Zunming Zhao could have wanted to get the mirror's hidden powers and treasures with the intention of reviving the Ching Dynasty. If Zunming Zhao's objective was the same as Lan Di's, he would have revived Chiyo, bringing war to China once again, in hopes of it becoming an imperial state once again. This could have led both friends, Iwao and Zunming Zhao, to become enemies. These events would end up leading Lan Di to seek revenge for the death of his father, bringing us to the beginning of the story of Shenmue. And as we all know, this is where Ryo's journey begins. It seems that this chain of events are making the mirrors go back to where they came from, and that may be the reason why they are occurring. This may be the way to bring the balance to Yin and Yang once again, and for Ryo to be at peace once and for all. But I also think there is much more to the story of Shenmue, and we still have a lot of unanswered questions. I think there is much more to know about Iwao's and Zunming Zhao's past, just like there is much more to know about Ryo and Shenmue's, and even Lan Di. Somehow I think that their connection with the mirrors is much deeper than we might think. I believe that the mystery of the mirrors and their true power can only be uncovered by someone enlightened. That is what I think is the purpose of Ryo's quest, a journey of enlightenment and of self-discovery. That, I think, is Ryo's destiny.
He comes from a far eastern land, across the ocean. A young man who has yet to realize his own potential. This potential is a power that can both destroy him as well as ensure his will is realized. Perhaps he will achieve the balance that will mark him a man of courage. The path he must traverse is fraught with adversity and filled with expectations. I await whilst praying for the realization of this destiny predetermined since ancient times. A pitch-black night unfolds, with morning star as its only light. And thus, the saga begins.
I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please continue to support Shenmue. If you haven't supported yet, go to the Slacker Backer campaign website and give your support to this amazing video game series. The link is in the description. And as always, until next time.